Page 448, number 1, asks us to solve the triangle when we're given side angle side. So for a side angle side situation, we want to use the law of cosines. The first thing we normally do is find the remaining side, which in this case would be side B. So we can find B using the law of cosines. So B squared is going to equal A squared plus C squared minus 2 times A times C times the cosine of angle B. So filling in everything, because we have all those parts, B squared is going to equal 13 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 13 times 8 times the cosine of 131 degrees. So simplifying that, we get that B squared equals 369.46, and then taking the square root, we get that side B is 19.22. Now, just like in the law of sines, the last section, 5.5, normally if you're not told, we're going to round to the nearest hundredth. Okay. So from there, we need to find one or other of the angles and then move on from that. Now, normally what you do is you use the law of cosines again to find one of the angles, and then you can subtract from 180 to find the third angle. Now, I know at this point it would be tempting to use law of sines, but we normally use law of cosines because it is possible to create the ambiguous case if you don't do it in the right order. So just to eliminate that problem altogether, we're going to use the law of cosines, and I'm going to first find angle C. So you want to remember that when you do an inverse sine or an arc sine, it's always going to give you a first quadrant angle. But our cosine is from 0 to 180, so you will definitely know whether you have an acute angle or an obtuse angle. So that's why we use law of cosines. So the law of cosines can be rewritten in terms of the angles. So cosine of C can be rewritten as A squared plus B squared minus C squared divided by 2AB. And I'll leave that up to you guys to determine how I got that formula. So filling in everything, we have 13 squared plus, and the value we just found in the first part, our B, is 19.22 squared minus 8 squared. And that is going to be divided by 2 times 13 times 19.22. So from there, I am just going to put in my calculator that angle C is going to be inverse cosine of this fraction. I'm not going to simplify it all ahead of time. I'm just going to put it in just like this. And use the inverse function on my calculator. And when I do that, I get an angle measure of 18.31 degrees. So from there, I can find angle B. So angle B is going to be 180 minus the 18.31 minus 131 degrees that was given. And so angle B is going to be 30.69 degrees. So now we have solved our triangle. I'm sorry, this is angle A. I said B, but I meant A. Angle A, because B was given. Angle B is the 131 degrees, so this is angle A. And we're finished.